I'm trying to think who to compare Mr. McMahon to. Kim Jong-un, Vladimir Putin, Donald... I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling blogger who always tells it like it is. You knew. You just knew that when Mr. McMahon started to show up on WWE TV on a regular basis, he would end up wanting to control it with an iron fist. It's happened before, and it's happening now. Remember the first time this happened? About 21 years ago, as the Attitude Era was about to start, Mr. McMahon started his tyrannical bend when, after being asked if he wanted Stone Cold Steve Austin to be then WWE Champion Shawn Michaels at WrestleMania 14, he replied, "It's not just no, it's oh hell no!" And when Austin did become champion, McMahon did everything he could to make sure his reign was as chaotic as possible, and that said reign would end quickly. As you may have guessed, in the long run, it didn't work. Whenever Austin did lose the title, he would fight back against the McMahons, whether it meant getting the title back or not. But, that seems to have become... That became Mr. McMahon's M.O. whenever he showed up on TV for any significant amount of time. He showed up, remind everyone that he was the chairman of the WWE, and as such the head jerk in charge. And because of that, what he says goes, no matter what that might be. If he says jump, you have to say off what, or find yourself future endeavored in record time. And if he wasn't there, his son and or daughter and or son-in-law would speak for him. Now, fortunately, since the Attitude Era collapsed, Vince has kept his distance from the cameras, only showing up for important announcements such as the re-splitting of brands or setting up a big match. He left the dictator job to Triple H or Stephanie McMahon or anyone he hired to look after the brand. Now, sometimes, like Shane McMahon, those in charge didn't rule viciously. Now, whether Mr. McMahon liked that or not, he just let them do what they did. But now he seems to be back in a more of a full-time role. The 73-year-old owner of what started as Capitol Wrestling may not appear too often, but when he does, he seems to think he's Joe Stalin. And like Stalin, he's out to crush people's hopes for sanity in the WWE. I mean, mere months after Triple H said that the WWE Universe was the new authority, Mr. McMahon turns around and says, no, I'm the authority. Now, first he didn't like how Becky Lynch was turning into the female Steve Austin, so he decided that the Royal Rumble winner would not face a champion at WrestleMania this year. Her 60-day suspension won't end until after the Showcase of the Immortals. That is, unless Ronda Rousey smacks some sense into Mr. McMahon. Literally, if need be. And meanwhile, Lynch is doing her Austin impression and showing up where she isn't supposed to, and sometimes even getting arrested for doing it. That's our Becky. And Mr. McMahon did it again last week. Shane said that Kofi Kingston was worthy of facing WWE champ Daniel Bryan at Fastlane. But just before he could sign on the solid line, up comes Mr. McMahon saying, nope, not you, but a guy who hasn't been seen in almost 5 months will be facing Bryan for the title. And for the first time, the New Day found the power of negativity, or rather the power of in-Vince ability. But tish. They were as pissed as the fans were, even when Kevin Owens and Kingston won a tag match against Bryan and Rowan later that night. Nobody was down with Kingston being cheated out of a match he's been waiting 11 years for. Least of all, Kingston himself. Will this turn into a WrestleMania match down the line? Who knows? But for now, we are all properly cheesed. In the span of a few weeks, Mr. McMahon ruined the authority of the fans who wanted to see Rousey versus Lynch and Bryan versus Kingston with his dictatorial ways. Now I'm wondering what Kim Jong Vince has up his sleeve for this month as the road to WrestleMania starts to inch towards New Jersey. See, I picked one. I mean, will he declare that Aleister Black will be part of a triple threat match with Seth Rollins and Brock Lesnar for the Universal title? Will he send both Lesnar and Rousey back to UFC after April 7th? Will he reinstate the Hardcore title and give it to Dean Ambrose, who will promptly lose it to Leo Rush before making his exit? It's like he's Joe Clark from Lean On Me. We try to tell him that nobody knows what he's doing, and he replies, "That's exactly the way I like it." When, oh when will this reign of terror end? Well, like I said, he is 73. He may be pretty fit for his age, but the fact remains is he's in his twilight years. Now, I'm starting to think that Vince will treat this company like the NRA treats guns. You can have the WWE when you pry it from my cold, dead hands. And even then, I'm sure his spirit will take over Triple H or someone, and he'll still be running things. I'm Chris Wolvie, the wrestling vlogger who always tells it like it is. See ya. Hail Vince!